This one got popped good in this right front corner. This frame rail collapsed. And that's why you don't stand behind it. That would have taken my head off.
I stay putting in that work. Everything I get, I'm work. You can tell by the way I walk, I ain't just talking about it. I stay putting in that work. Everything I get, I'm work. You can tell by the way I walk, I ain't just talking about it. I stay putting in that work. I'm up in the morning like 5 in the morning, I'm already on. So when you just getting out of the box, boy, I'm rounding the cone.
I have a Toyota Sienna here. This one got popped good in this right front corner. And you guys can see this frame rail collapse like a tin can. So it's going to get a frame rail section. They actually make a sectioning procedure for this frame rail. So, but first I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this in clamps and I'm going to make some pulls. I want to pull roughly this damage out and make some measurements on it. Make sure nothing beyond that is hurt. I don't think it is. These are actually made to crumble in this front section right here. So I don't think anything else is moved, but I want to check it anyway first and make some pulls to roughly pull this out. Then I have the new radiator support. It gets a complete radiator support and it gets the frame rail section, which I have somewhere right here. I got to look at the paperwork for the procedure to cut it somewhere right in here to splice this front section in. So I'm going to get this in clamps first and go from there. So they have measurements coming off the center of the rear wheel where they want these clamps at. And this one they want at 2340, which is right about here. Alright, so I have to go to 5 points in the center section of this vehicle, and that will match the measuring system to the car, so it knows exactly where the car is sitting. There's 1 point. Now I'm going to come up here to the front center section and pick another point to go to. They give me a bunch of different attachments here, and it tells me which ones to use depending on which point I'm going to. So it told me that was a bad point to go to for centering, so I'm going to try a different one now. Alright, now I can come up to this front end, and I'm going to check this side first and make sure this frame rail on this side isn't shifted at all. Now I'm going to take some measurements on this side. Obviously this front part is getting replaced, but I want to check everything behind it, make sure nothing else is moved. Alright, everything else is looking pretty good on this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a rough pull on the front of this. And I need to bring it down. This is pushed up just about a couple millimeters. So while I pull this out, I'm going to do it at a down pull a little bit at the same time. And once I get this roughly pulled out, then I'll be able to go ahead and start cutting the radiator support and this frame rail section out. And that's why you don't stand behind it. That would have taken my head off. But I saw it coming. I kind of had a feeling that was going to come loose. I'm trying to rough it out so I can get a better grip in here. I might bolt the plate on here, rough that, then grab this plate, this piece right here. So I need to bring this down just about 2 millimeters. So I'm going to put this roller on here and use that as a point to bring it down. This one's all pulled out, measures out good now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this radiator support out and then start sectioning my frame rail. So I'm going to make a rough cut just to get the bulk of this out of my way, and then I'll make a measurement to make my final cut. It looks like they want it 190 millimeters in front of this hole. Is actually a laser seam right there. I believe that's where they actually want it done at. So, but I want to get the bulk of this out of my way first. So if you guys can see here, this has a laser seam right inside of here, and that's where they actually join two different thicknesses and strengths of metal, and that's exactly where it collapsed like it's made to do. It collapsed right at that seam where the two different metals meet, and that's exactly where it's going to get sectioned in at. Alright, now I'm going to see how this is sitting. I might have to shift it a little bit. We will find out. Looks like I'm sitting about 8 millimeters over that way. So I'm going to take this and tweak it, bring it over just a little bit. It looks like I need to take a little bit of material off of this right here so I can shift it a hair. So I'm going to take this and grind this down just a little bit. Alright, let's see where we're at now. I think we're looking pretty good. This one's measuring out good. My reinforcement bar lines up good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put some tack welds in this just to get it locked in place. And then I'm going to fit up this side plate, and then I'll weld that solid. I just want to make sure everything else is good before I weld it solid. Alright, I put the bar on there to kind of lock it in. This plate sitting up perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this solid, and then I'll put this plate on afterwards. Alright, I have this radiator support sitting in there. I'm going to go ahead and make some measurements on it and make sure I have it sitting where I want it. So I'm going to make some measurements on the top of this radiator support. This is checking my length right here, comparing it side to side. Length looks good now. I'm going to check the X, exit out, make sure it's square. Looks pretty good. Well, I got this one all fit up. Fenders, hood, headlights, everything's fitting good. So bottom of the radiator support measures out good. Top X is out good. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna zap this radiator support on in.